Hey, this is Alex Head, founder of Subtext Radio.
This is Subtext.
Please go ahead and click the like button and the subscribe button. It really helps us to reach new audiences and promote the artists that we work with. Hit like and hit subscribe. Welcome back to the Subtext end of 2020 broadcast. If you made it this far, congratulations. We've got a lot more in store for you today. But right now we're going to jump into Weirding Module. It's episode 17 with Nathan Gray, of course. The Weirding Module is a show which explores the voice in contemporary art and experimental practice.
Patsy made it. Merle made it. Tammy made it. Willie made it. I didn't make it. Thought I was dying, I was feeling so bad. I had the worst heartache a man could ever have. A lonely old codger sitting at the bar, looking in the mirror, wonder who you are. I live in the hotel across the street, coffee in the diner, try to make ends meet. I got a little room with a cheap TV, a window on the alley, nothing to see. A refrigerated cheap bottle of wine. Every night I think this is the end of the line. Then the sweetest little lady comes up to me. She said, honey, you gotta let it be. Think about the people who are just like you. They got the whole wide world and nothing to do. You just gotta find them and let them come in, and hold on to them till you get to the end. Open up your heart and let the love come out. You gotta keep on giving, that's what it's all about. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you that a little love can't fix. It was magic, a kind of magic. It must have been in my imagination, 'cause I looked around and she was gone. Now I'd really like to thank her. She saved my life with a song. She is the angel of loneliness. She comes to you when you're in distress. A hug and a kiss and a word or two. Then magically there's another you. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you that a little love can't fix. Dolly made it. Hank made it. Loretta made it. Bill made it. I didn't make it. I thought I was dying, I was feeling so bad. I had the worst heartache a man could ever have. Lonely old millionaire sitting at the bar. Money can't buy it, no matter who you are. I've got a house everywhere jammed full of stuff, with a big hole in the middle where there'll never be enough. Rich, rich, poor, poor, it's all the same. The days go by without a name. In a certain mood, your heart is gonna burst, and everything you try is gonna make things worse. Then the sweetest little lady comes up to me. She said, honey, you gotta let it be. Think about the people who are just like you. They got the whole wide world and nothing to do. You just gotta find them and let them come in, and hold on to them till you get to the end. Open up your heart and let the love come out. You gotta keep on giving, that's what it's all about. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you that a little love can't fix. It was magic, a kind of magic. It must have been in my imagination, 'cause I looked around and she was gone. Now I'd really like to thank her. She saved my life with a song. She is the angel of loneliness. She comes to you when you're in distress. A hug and a kiss and a word or two. Then magically there's another you. There's nothing wrong with 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 you. That a little love can't fix.
This is Viewfinder, take 2.
This is the Weirding Module, a show that deals with language and the voice in contemporary art and experimental music. And this is episode 17, Ambiguity in Earnest. And it focuses in on something I've been struggling to put my finger on, an elusive strand in contemporary electroacoustic music. It's a certain ambiguity, sometimes a heavy honesty combined with a subtle kind of humour that comes from being overly earnest. Sometimes it's something serious hidden among the jokes. I started to build this mix around 2 pieces I've been thinking about for quite a while, mostly because I didn't really understand them. The first is Gaby Lasonsi's Tiny Icons, which directly addresses the listener about her practice, and its tone is almost aggressive. And the second is Chris Cole's In Praise of Blandness, Chapter 9, where she reads from Francois Julien's book of the same name. But we'll build up to those. Right now we'll start with some different kind of ambiguities. We began with Robert Ashley's Angel of Loneliness, and from there we'll entertain some things that are even more ambiguous. We're going to hear works by Graham Lamkin and Jason Lescalit, Holly Childs and Gediminas Zygas, Claire Rousey, Joan LaBarbera, Matea Landry, Sean McCann and Eric Schmidt, Alison Knowles, Mel Bentley, Baby Father, and some ambiguous audio from Arak Gulbenkoglu. And underneath my voice we have David Berman from 2002, A Puzzle of a Piece, an electronic work recorded in a room with its title announced over the music at the beginning of the track. Anyway, I'll get out of your hair, but I wanted to say thanks to everyone who's been part of Subtext this year, and thank you for listening.
A day in the studio. The narcissus are knee-deep in water, but dead after only one day. Will they ever learn to swim? When I say Narcissus, I'm not talking about the myth, the mirror, or the man. I am talking about the silly yellow dinky flowers that someone brought me out of pure guilt. The poor blossoms are not amused. They're hanging heads on a row. Instead, perhaps confused. If anything. If anything. If anything. If anything, anything goes. And so life leads the way. Flowers and plants don't like me, I always say. Flowers and plants don't like me. But then it might be that I don't like plants nor flowers neither, in either order. Why the flowers? Why the sad face? Why is it so hard to pick up the phone and say that you will be 1 hour late before it is 1 hour too late to say anything at all? Anytime. Anytime. Anytime is good. Anytime is good. And so we did nothing about it. Inbox 1. An invitation to read a piece of fiction for no money. No thanks. Inbox 2. Your speakers are held in customs, and you need to prove they are in fact yours, including VAT. Your speakers are held in customs, handcuffed, and allowed only one phone call. Who do speakers call? Who do speakers speak to? My apologies. Your speakers are a piece of goods worth more than €1,000, including VAT. Speakers speak for themselves, but it does not matter if they're yours or mine. Make a call and say that it is private. Say that they are private speakers. Say that it is private to speak in public. Say that it is a private matter, and perhaps they will let them go, including VAT. Say that it is a private matter, and perhaps they will feel awkward. Perhaps they will feel that you are getting too close for them to handle. Say, if it is a private matter, what does it matter? Say, if the voice is yours, what's the matter? Say, if the voice is a matter, what is yours? Is it the substance of the voice speaking or the speakers that carry the substance which makes the value of the substance valuable? An invitation to read a piece of fiction for no money is a piece of fiction in itself. Get real. What can you do for me? What can you do for humanity? What kind of tea would you like? Peppermint or Earl Grey? That's all I have. Mind you, the water might be contaminated, but fine if we boil it, twice or more. Peppermint or Earl Grey? What does your choice say about you? Monarchy or anarchy? Morning tea or afternoon tea or teatime tea? Political arguments fitted to the width of a T-shirt. Medium, large or small? Or one size fits all? Anything goes. Anything goes. Anything goes. And so we end up going nowhere. A bag in the water, and then where is the flavour? Can you do me a favour? Can you read this piece out loud? It is a piece of fiction. It is a piece of fiction without the friction. It lacks luster. It lacks life. And by the lack of life, I mean death. And by saying death, it might very well be that the water is contaminated. This is why flowers and plants never last long in my studio. If you ever come over, don't bring me flowers. Just watch your hours. Just call me and tell me you will be late. Whenever, whatever, why bother? Her brother, thy father, the other, the out there. Bring it over, bring it in, bring nature closer. Take a handful of flowers and place them knee-deep in front of me, knee-deep in water for the sake of breaking the ice. Take a handful of narcissus and see them die right in front of you, hanging heads towards the ground. When I say narcissus, I'm not talking about the people complaining about their frizzy hair at your father's funeral. I'm instead talking about the silly yellow dinky flowers that someone brought me out of pity. Make sure you say the right thing if you end up on the wrong train in the wrong direction. 1 hour delay. 1 hour delay. 1 hour delay is our delay, not yours. Take your time, and you take mine. I didn't say it's fine. I said fine. As in, let's leave it at that. Let's leave it after this cup of tea, as it tastes nothing to me anyway. It's neither water nor flavor. It's just over.
Since I exist as a result of out-of-the-body gestation, plus was designed by specialists, plus technicians with massive solar sources, my destination is here in the telehumans colonies of species survival in Cell City. Quasi-humans here reside in special life support suits specifically designed for purposes of continuous protection from most external dangers. Telemedical facilities are built in so that bodily functions are safeguarded against the obsolete accident of death. Residents here at Cell City self-regenerate organs and correct genetic flaws automatically. We also speak English with an idiosyncratic accent, which has survived for 6 centuries and was initiated and subsequently stylized in the social stratosphere by our designer, Dr. Sorsi Osa. As spokesperson for Cell City, I sense that our model will be obsolete within the course of the next master plan. I am trying to locate Dr. Sorsi Osa or anyone familiar with our model to help save us from replacement or decommission. I've received your sibilant telecommunications signal and hoped you would know Dr. Sorsi Osa's whereabouts.
And it hurt, you know? The only way to deal is by experiencing it as really fucked. Recalibration, gauze dragging, epidermal resurfacing, subcutaneous tissue bleeding out, contiguous wound between the two. Dredging also means two distinct things, scraping like that. Like it didn't matter what was happening. It was plasma and mud and eating out. Dredging the structure, cleaning the plasma and dirt, plasma and mud, plasma and dirt, plasma and mud, plasma and dirt, plasma and mud.
Final interview. Porous. Fur. Wet spaces like superhumidity. Love and slide. Up high. Slit. Membranes across walls. How you engage with reality, which is very interesting for me. Because reality is the ultimate fiction for me. But you're kind of like at liberty with that.
Most High, all-powerful, good Lord, yours are the praises, the glory, the honor, and all blessings. To you alone, Most High, do they belong, and no man is worthy to mention your name. Be praised, my Lord, through all your creatures, especially through my Lord, brother, son, who brings the day, and you give light through him. And he is beautiful and radiant in all of his splendor. Of you, Most High, he bears the likeness. Praise be you, my Lord, through Sister Moon, and the stars in heaven you formed them clear and precious and beautiful. Praise be you, my Lord, through Brother Wind, and through the air, cloudy or serene, and every kind of weather through which you give substance to your creatures. Praised be you, my Lord, through Sister Water, which is very useful and humble and precious and chaste. Praised be you, my Lord, through Brother Fire, through whom you light the night, and he is beautiful and playful and robust and strong. Pleased be you, my Lord, through Sister Mother Earth, who sustains us and governs us, who produces varied fruits and colored flowers and herbs. Praised be you, my Lord, through those who give pardon for our love and bear infirmary, and tribulation. Blessed are those who endure in peace, for by you, Most High, they shall be crowned. Praised be you, my Lord, through our sister bodily death, from whom no living man can escape. Woe to those who die in mortal sin. Blessed are those whom death will find in your most holy will, for the second death shall do them no harm. Praised and blessed my Lord, and give him thanks, and serve him with great humility. Amen.
Jim and I are just going to meet we just meet in the meeting?
When the blessed servant of God saw these things, he was filled with wonder, but he did not know what the visions meant. He rejoiced greatly at the benign and gracious expression with which he saw himself regarded by the seraph, whose beauty was indescribable. Yet he was alarmed by the fact that the seraph was affixed to the cross and was suffering terribly. Thus Francis rose, one might say, sad and happy, joy and grief alternating in him. He wondered anxiously what this vision could mean, and his soul was uneasy as it searched for understanding. And as his understanding sought in vain for an explanation, his heart was filled with perplexity at the great novelty of the vision. The marks of nails began to appear in his hands and feet, just as he had seen them slightly earlier in the crucified man above him. His wrists and feet seemed to be pierced by nails, with the heads of the nails appearing on his wrists and on the upper sides of his feet, the points appearing on the other side. The marks were round on the palm of each hand, but along on this other side, and small pieces of flesh jutting out from the rest took on the appearance of the nail ends, bent and driven back. In the same way, the marks of the nails were impressed on his feet and projected beyond the rest of the flesh. Moreover, his right side had a large wound, as if it had pierced with the spear, and it often bled so that his tunic and trousers were soaked with his sacred blood.
It is a delight to have you all here, and to have you who have come from London and other places add liveliness and splendour to this morning. It was very moving just now to see the care and attention with which the statue of Our Lady of Magical was brought and placed in this position of honour. Thank you to all of you who did that. And thank you to everybody who's arranged everything so quickly and so efficiently in the early hours of this morning. It's been remarkable, and we here in Folkestone are very delighted to welcome you.
think I am a bad person, but I have done some less than good things in my life. Once, when I was 12, I took a drum lesson at night in the drum shop. When my teacher was preparing the teaching space, I stole drumsticks from the store and placed them in my bag. I text and drive 85% of the time, unless someone is with me. I don't want to kill anyone I know. That would be an awkward conversation to have with their family. Instead of tipping at the coffee shop, I used to stick my empty hand in the tip jar when the barista turned their back and waited until they turned around again. This way it still looked like I was tipping. My first time dog sitting for my friend's family, I accidentally kicked the dog. I was 9. When I was 14, I masturbated to a Facebook photo of someone from my school. I pretended to get hurt by a remote-controlled car when I was 8 years old so I didn't have to play with my friend anymore. I was bored of him. Later my dad found out and spanked me with a wooden spoon from the kitchen. I lied to my friends sometimes that I listened to their SoundCloud link when all I did was skip to the middle and listen to approximately 30 seconds of their recording. I stole beers from my family's fridge when I was 16, so I could try to get drunk behind the local library with my friend Grace. It didn't work, so the next time we decided we would smoke weed. The next time I tried to get fucked up with Grace was when I bought weed from my friend Chad. I didn't pay him for the weed for over 2 weeks. Sometimes when I am alone, I think about my extended family dying and getting a very tiny amount of extra money in my bank account. There have been times when I am talking shit over text messages and send the text to the person I am criticizing and not the person I am gossiping with. Sometimes when I am drunk I say retarded. I watched a guy pepper spray a sleeping homeless man on the train and was too scared to do anything to stop it. It happened a few months ago and I keep replaying it in my head, wishing I'd done something. Around the 5th grade, I got into a fight with my younger sister. She wouldn't stop talking, so I decided I would cover her nose and mouth until there was no more sound. She survived. I am still lying to my parents until this day about being addicted to smoking cigarettes. At my last job I would drink on the clock. It felt normal because everyone would do it, but I definitely drank a lot. I still drink a lot. There is a certain uneasy feeling I get when I am the only white person in the room. I understand all white people are inherently racist, but this experience always brings out the worst in me. Sometimes I used to pretend I had less money than I actually do so my partner would pay for me. I say that I hate a lot of things. Only some of those things I actually capital H hate. The last long tour I went on, I slept with someone different every night for 6 days in a row. It felt awesome at the time, but now I just feel bad that I never reached out after that week. I like to lie. It is really fun because you're the only one that knows. I feed my dog food I am not supposed to sometimes. I do it as a way to gain her love and trust, even though it is unsafe for her. When I was younger I would vocalize false music tastes depending on who I was around. There is nothing more uncomfortable than being 15 and feeling uncool. I cheated on my long-term partner with her friend once. It ended poorly. Oftentimes I see car accidents and keep driving cause I don't want to be bothered to stop and be a witness. When I was growing up an evangelical Christian, I was attending church and pretending to believe in God even though I didn't any longer. I think my sister's ex-boyfriend is a douchebag. I know that I have fatphobic thoughts but have yet to do the work to undo that thought process in my brain. I go number 2 in my partner's bathroom. My very first job was at a dry cleaner's. I would sort dirty clothing and find money in the pockets most days. I always kept the money and never returned it to the customer. One time I even found a signed and dated check for $1,000. All I had to do was write my name in the receiving section. My first boss at that job killed himself. His daughter, who was 2 years old at the time. I've never checked in on the family. I think most homosexual men are fucking idiots. When people ask me to use my social media reach to promote their fundraiser, I usually decline. I made a mix for Silk House Radio and used an XXXTentacion song even though I know he was an abuser. The song is too good, I don't care. I like Chris Brown, Michael Jackson, R. Kelly, and 6ix9ine's music. There had been countless times I told people I liked their set when I didn't even hear a second of it. I usually stand outside because most performances annoy me. I did too much cocaine the last time I was in Mexico and spent 30 minutes bleeding all over my friend's bathroom sink. No matter how many times my partner would ask me to wash the to-go tumblers by hand, I always stuck them in the dishwasher. I forgot to donate my Bandcamp money a few years ago on Transgender Day of Remembrance. I probably bought a pizza or something with it instead. When people share the amount of money they donate on their social media, I unfollow them. I pretend to cum sometimes during sex so that the other person doesn't feel bad about not being able to get a trans person off. A teenager I worked with died and I didn't go to the funeral. I didn't like working with him. I listened to Red Scare. My childhood best friend is estranged to me now, but my parents still keep in touch with him. I was in a band with someone abusive and it took me years to realize it because I liked being in a popular local band. I had sex with my teenage best friend's sister cause she wanted to. I never told him. There are nights during the week I play dance music way too loud even though my downstairs neighbor has a small child. The second time I ever smoked weed, I got way too high with my girlfriend at the time and drove us from the park to a McDonald's. I ran in, screaming I can't breathe, and dunked my head under the soda fountain and pulled a number of the drink levers. I spilled a glass of wine in bed and didn't wash the sheets for another 2 days. Sometimes when my mom calls me, I lie and say that I have a new job and I am at work. I think Avril Lavigne's album Let Go is better than Coltrane's Giant Steps.
Part of a project that I was writing and working on while I wrote that, which will explain to you where my head was when I came up with that. It's called Tweet Text Reply to Sender, and it is composed of clippings of things that felt like they were relevant to me as I was doing an office job and therefore spending a lot of time isolated from people but on the internet, getting a lot of junk mail, and I would just clip a sentence or something, and then it would sort of acquire patina and decay. So here's a piece of that. Today, a culture sickness of jokes are telling the truth about smiling is not taking people's shit is terrifying. Nobody knows shit. Nobody lives anywhere. Hello, dust. IQ the crow with no mouth is going through your Flickr account, living vicariously through your harvest pics this time of year. I fantasize about being someone's literary secretary or financial intimacy. Go back to Notley again. I'm not all that interested in being a woman. It's just a practical problem you deal with when you write poems. You have to deal with the problem of who you are so that you can be a person talking. Alice Notley realized while editing old poetry that I was muttering how veins under your skin rist like ships. I do not appear within the world as I see it, but then you don't appear anymore either. Maybe we're together and someone else's Gordon Lish is still a hero, but you're not survivable. I've given up literature and taken down pills, and that rabbit doesn't trust me. I said the dream songs. The flipping of the semi was accomplished with a technique known in Hollywood as flipping a real goddamn semi. Shuttle, dispatcher, disembodied, voice negative, 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 do you copy, negative, frozen. In a different part of the Time Theater, Daisy, Mamie, and Chauncey DeVere took the signal and refused it, but Lysander John took slices. The continual happening of the unexpected into the shape of visitors, he has arranged a system of signals perfectly understood by a group of children, affectionately calling him Dad. As a family hold back, I famous myself at you, a sort of abortive mom blogger. I was pushed out just from being a person in the drony morning. A big stickered bus and airline I'm flying with Saturday just gave me a bag of chips on the street and told me to vote. What does an airline look like on the street? We lost them into his body, in which love is capsizing and staying indicates an inability to swim. The bodies are identified by cable knit sweaters. A donation page on our website uses the same back-end system as the direct-to-consumer faces. I just can't see them. Their faces, I mean, I can see them, I just don't understand. I saw the best binders of my generation filled by women. Avianism, single mother assault weapon, catch violent impulses before they occur. I'm the one who has to greet the coffins when they come home. Getting things to grow in a heartbeat is pretty much the whole reason why I listen to debates. I'm going for a former sense of being alive. A seizure in the subway, a cop watching him. Man puts his arm out to stop his child from moving closer. The doors close. And that goes on for like 36 pages. So,
why do I mind so much? Why do I have this this zone that's so I suppose, like, specific to something I'm doing, but it seems like I don't think that it's necessarily bad that a person would want to have a space all their own. It's just it's strange when the actual composition of that space is solely and exclusively, if you get outside of the realm of a very narrow realm, exclusively populated by other people. So what does that mean? I mean, everything is, I suppose, but it's harder when you have something that's related to private desire, where, like, there's an understanding that when you're managing or thinking about things that are innately social, that you bring the type of insight and the type of understanding that you're going to be learning from other people, and you're going to be understanding other people to it, which is something that I can do, and I do. But it's, I don't know, it's like what happens when it's something that making something feels like it ought to be private for no valid reason, although I still feel that way. I think that it's like it's a fallacy that produces itself as a continuing force. It's like related to a misinterpretation of the thing and of how things work. But being alone in that home is almost like the thing that makes me want to keep going. Feeling alone is I guess almost like I think this is feeling alone, or feeling like I'm the master of the space that I'm occupying, that I'm working in, and knowing that no matter what in that space, I can be right. I think more, it's hard to actually imagine an assumption for all the assumptions that I think people make, and all of the sort of stupid things that I think people do in audio and in recorded. It's weird because I think in some ways it could be said my thought process is maybe the most incorrect, if that's like specifically what I'm coming for with it, because it's not about I mean, I don't really know the reasons that other people do it, but I guess like the fact that I know it's wrong but I still continue to process things in that way is what makes it like specifically wrong. The things that other people do are truly intolerable to me, though, and so it's although like there's a lot of like very asinine shit that I suppose, like, or I that's not even necessarily true. I think that there's like function to it, and all of the function is like related to an outright desire for specificity that I've talked about before. Like, it's just what makes it specifically unacceptable, I think, in my case, is that I don't think that my understanding of these things is predicated on false assumptions, and I've done a lot of hard work to eliminate nostalgia and just kind of keep in place like pleasure of the event. The difference is that I know in my heart, for me, that it's wrong, but it's still something that I need to do. And so, I don't know, it's just a burden that's only relieved by the creation of forms, and that hasn't stopped being true. I do think that it can be said that the thing makes me a better person, but me being a better person doesn't help you, I don't think. And that's like in and of itself its own question, like why and what does that have to do with you? And if it has anything to do with you, what does it have to do with you, and how does that relate to me? You might be amazed to see the extent to which I am improving, but what that means and why that matters is its own little thing. I don't think, and again, like, it's interesting, it's kind of like the same thing, because if other people are just other people, then why would it matter if I'm getting better? And if I'm getting the manner in which I bother people already is, I think, unless they're very close to me, it will not change. I refuse to change anything in relation to people, because basically the only thing that's would change is that I have less pain. But the fact that I felt some degree of pain, and I think that it's maybe even arguable that it wasn't that great an amount of pain either. It was just I had made the decision that, as I have so often, that things should be better. If there's a movement, then if the movement is not from a very bad place to a better place, but instead is from a good place to a better place, what is the end there? And is it something that can be spoken about?
I'll tell you something, that my experience with people with extended vocal technique is just that it's a fabulous source of research, but it for the moment it has hit an impasse, a kind of a stop, because these people dedicate their whole existence to developing the technique. And it would be a very foolish composer, a good composer, who would compose a piece for one of these singers, because it's a very limited thing, and it can only be used by those people who specialize in it. The only thing that I could imagine is that some of these things could be taught to people who are really singers, because I doubt that most of the people involved can really sing in the true sense of the word, you see. And they're kind of, I don't want to be offensive because I don't intend this, but they're, in a way, they're freaks, they're phenomenal. What they used to call me, but it wasn't true in my case because I can also sing, you see. But the freak element and phenomenal element with them is all.
The sandals are cut exactly to the foot and cost $23. The sole is made by 2 thicknesses of leather and held together by 23 small finishing nails on the left shoe and 21 on the right. A spliced thong rises from the sole, passes between the big toe and the fourth. These cross several times through the wide strap of leather that passes laterally over the arch and supports the divided thongs so that they reach the heel section where they meet again to tie behind the foot. The sandals are stained overall a medium tan color. At the toe, the sandal sole has been stained by oil and salt from the skin to not only darken the leather in small circles, but to impress the sole with indentations as each toe presses forward to grip and to facilitate walking. The heel portion of the left shoe is stained in a different manner from the right, forming a very dark central area, leading to a pale halo around the heel that carries through to the outer frame of the sole. At this point, the finishing nails that frame the sole form slight indentations of their own. These nails are most visible at the heel, where they have come directly in contact with the pavement in walking. On the left sandal, there are somewhat more pressed mud stains than on the right. The dust of California has provided an overall soft haze for the salt and sweat to rub into, leaving on the sole of each shoe an excellent print of the enclosed foot. The color varies for this reason, from a pale brown along the periphery of the sole to a highly polished dark brown at all points of contact with the foot. In fact, to examine by touch and by sight, one realizes how entirely the sole of a shoe is formed by the foot. A little river of pale dust runs behind the toe prints on each sandal, making it clear that toes do not lie flush to any surface. The leather arch band that runs across the shoe is joined to the shoe by means of 2 vertical slits that insert between the 2 joined sections of the sole and are held in place by 4 finishing nails per insertion on the right shoe, and only 3 on the left. In these cut arch sections, various minute amounts of grass, clay, and dust have accumulated. These can be seen by bending the arch band back with the hand. This arch band, as we have said, is cut across so that the 2 parts of the thong can crisscross through it to reach the back of the heel. The shape of the arch is high and forms a true curve. This curve is supported on the right sandal from beneath the sole by 3 shoemaker staples on the right and 3 on the left sandal. Examining the very bottom of the shoe, the surfaces that meet the ground, the variety in surface is extensive. The left sandal possesses 3 areas of paint stains, mostly white. And on the right, small speckles of the same substance. The soles are pitted throughout, with a small fragment of chewing gum on the back section of the arch of the right sandal, and a general smoothness and darkening where either sandal rises up to form the arch area. These sandals do not appear similar on perusal. The left containing 2 more finishing nails in the making of the shoe, and many more stains underneath. The right sandal is slightly longer than the left, bearing more of the weight in walking. During the time that I've had these shoes, 2 incidents have occurred to the left foot. The metatarsal of the 4th toe was broken in an encounter with furniture. The nail of the big toe went into a trauma, turned purple, and died. The sandal of the left foot bears, however, no record of these incidents. My principal pleasure in wearing these sandals is in the clopping sound they make. I enjoy very much also their difference one from the other, and 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 the other.
You're listening to
Subtext Radio.
This is Subtext Radio.
Subtext.
Is this better?